There's only one look, for Christ's sake! They're the same face!
Churchill and Darkest Hour, Armageddon and Deep Impact, Ants and A Bug's Life. Have you ever noticed that similar movies tend to be released at the same time? Now, this supernatural phenomenon is called twin films. Is it a coincidence, a conspiracy, or something even more sinister?
Oh shit, buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper.
One of the most notorious examples in recent memory was White House Down with Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum, and Olympus Has Fallen starring Gerald Butler and Morgan Freeman, both films released in 2013. Now, both have striking similar premises. The hero must save the American president and the whole nation. Many people thought it was actually the same movie, with one comment saying, "I was 40 minutes into Olympus Has Fallen and finally realized Channing Tatum was never going to show up," with a reply, "Story of my life." Well, story of our lives. But twin films is an official term. It's not something we just made up. And if you scroll, there are hundreds of examples of similar movies being released at the same time by different studios. And this trend started as soon as the movie industry began, with the earliest examples at the beginning of the 1900s. According to Keith Simanton, senior film editor at IMDb, one reason is to improve on existing ideas. And the concept is similar to the most common business advice. Rather than producing a completely new product, which has a bigger chance of failure, it's always safer to take on existing popular product and improve it.
Because I was inverted.
Bullshit!
In 1988, there were 4 movies with a similar premise. A comedy about changing bodies, or the main hero finding themselves suddenly younger or older.
That one was for my dad.
Pretty hot lick.
I know.
I play the drums.
Do you believe that a person can go from one body to another?
Yes. I still don't get it.
But it was big, the last one that was the biggest, as the name suggests. Commercial and critical success. Copying and making existing ideas works for movies too. The studios see potential and think, well, we can definitely make it better. I enjoy a good conspiracy as much as the next guy, but coincidence is just another reason why similar movies end up being released around the same time. We had no movies about Dunkirk and the British evacuation during the Second World War, and suddenly we get like 3 fairly similar movies. And some people even combined both films to make a point. Sometimes there is no connection, no conspiracy, but twin films happen by coincidence. Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached, both released in 2011. But let's not dismiss conspiracies altogether, like that would be silly. Studios want to be first on the market and beat the competitors at the box office. When they learn that a big star is releasing a movie soon, they may want to get their version faster. This could have happened with Hercules and The Legend of Hercules, both released in 2014, one starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the Hercules, and the other Kellan Lutz. Can you guess which one was the copycat? The same thing happened with the 1965 biopic about Jean Harlow called Harlow. Both were released around the same time, resulting in lawsuits. Studios aren't known to play nice. Everyone knows everyone. They know about the projects, scripts, and what the competitors are doing.
Let's just say I know a guy who knows a guy.
They copy, they steal, and use scripts and ideas. There is no honor, and sometimes bad blood can result in very similar movies being made, just like what happened to Pixar's A Bug's Life and DreamWorks' Ants. Both films were released in 1998, and both were about ants and bugs. That's how real men settle their battles, by producing competing kids' movies. Now, people say competition is the drive behind innovation. I don't think it applies to movie business, but it certainly creates a race between the studios to release similar movies. Let's go back to the White House Down versus Olympus has fallen. White House Down, released by Sony, had $150+ million budget, high production value, top actors, and a great buzz and expectations. It made around $200 million. Olympus Has Fallen was produced independently by Millennium Films. The budget was around $70 million, still high, but half the price of White House Down. It made around $170 million. So Sony's strategy was to go all out, but Millennium Films counted their dollars and tried to ride the buzz generated by their competitors. And it worked. It happens because the scripts can be sent to multiple studios, and if one buys or options it, it generates interest. Why did they buy it? Can they see something in it?
I see money.
Suddenly, other studios want to jump on the perceived action and create their version of the movies. With independent studios and smaller productions, they want to piggyback on the marketing campaigns of the big ones. The attention is there, and with the internet, people may talk about two movies, compare them, and generate interest for free. Better movies usually win. So if the underdog has a better story, pacing and writing, they can defeat the massive productions. Another example was the TV movie Tornado starring Bruce Campbell, a low-budget alternative to the 1996 blockbuster Twister.
It's the wonder of nature, baby!
And to be honest, it's pretty good strategy. When I watch a good series or a movie, I tend to look for something similar next, to satisfy the cravings. Studios develop similar projects to ride the wave of public interest, like with the Fire documentaries released at the same time by Netflix and Hulu. News, anniversaries, and current events can also inspire multiple projects, and studios rush to capitalize on the momentum and release similar stuff. In 2006, we ended up with 3: Flight 93, World Trade Center, and United 93. Because studios operate on a principle called similar but different. Movies and series cost a lot of money and time. Greenlighting original projects are very risky. That's why we get so many remakes and sequels. But if one studio takes a punt on an idea, it looks less risky to make a similar one. They wouldn't have put all that money in the project if it was rubbish.
I'm only burning my half.
And if a respected director, let's say Christopher Nolan, is doing the film, that's even better reason to copy, like with 2006 The Prestige and The Illusionist. Also, whoever gets in first has a chance to establish dominance, especially if a potential franchise is on the cards.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
And we all know how profitable this can be. 2005 Madagascar spurred sequels, spin-offs, shorts, and television series. And 2006 The Wild, never heard of it? Exactly.
No!
Of course, plagiarism is not allowed, so studios must avoid stealing copyrighted elements. Fairly similar concepts fly under the legal radar, but it's the public domain that offers true freedom. Brothers Grimm's Snow White can be adapted by anyone without risking Disney's wrath. So in 2012 we were blessed with Mirror Mirror and Snow White and the Huntsman, all legally clear. They have been part of the movie business since its inception, and as we saw, there are countless examples of this phenomenon. Sometimes the bigger production wins, sometimes it's the copy, sometimes both fail. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we can always wait and choose the best movie. Or watch both or none. You do whatever you want. Thanks for watching this one though.
Find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.